Alrighty, testing audio. Alrighty, testing audio. That means that works. So muting that. Put my links in the chat and then we'll get going here on a bonus episode of Ramsey Coach with Coach Steve Money. There is a lot of Reddit questions to get to, and the next time I would be doing that would be on 6 days from now on the next Ramsey Coach, and on the 15th on the Ramsey Show After Show. Put my links in the chat here and then we'll get going. Alright, as I said, this is a bonus episode since there's so many questions on the Dave Ramsey subreddit, reddit.com/r/Dave Ramsey. And that is not run by Ramsey Solutions, that is run by fans. If you want a group that's run by Ramsey Solutions, that would be on Facebook. That would be the Ramsey Baby Steps Community, and make sure it's called that. If it's not called that, then it's not the right one and not run by Ramsey Solutions. Once again, I'm Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And if you've got money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation / assessment with me at calendly.com/Coach Steve Money. That is a video conferencing appointment. So you can do that from anywhere in the whole wide world. You can email me about coaching or anything on my YouTube channel. Like Oak Island and video games. I'm probably going to play some Portal Revolution tonight, game that just came out. It's a free mod for Portal 2. So if you own Portal 2 on the Steam, then you get that for free. Fun times. And it's a prequel to Portal 2. So it happens in between the two Portal games. Let's see, where was I before I got distracted? Oh, the email, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Channel donations, getting good, paypal.me/Coach Steve Money. Now, if you don't want to sign up for PayPal, then you can just send me a Walmart gift card to, again, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Add me on the gram at Coach Steve Money. Of course, the YouTube channel is youtube.com/Coach Steve Money. Alright, we can get rid of the streaming now. Alrighty. More plugs. This is my channel. Specifically, people interested in this video might be interested in previous episodes of this, which I did one just last night. And below that, the music playlist, which is mostly song parodies, I guess I will, because I use other songs' music to do songs about the personalities. And like this one is Lifestyle Creep. It was just too easy to do, you know, Lifestyle Creep, instead be a weirdo. I got 2 baby stepping songs. One about George, Rachel, Jade, Dr. D, and as I said, 2 baby step songs. Also 2 bands. This was recorded by me in the 90s with my camcorder. The kind you used to have to hold up on your shoulder like that. And so one of my favorite bands, even though they are not well known. And below that, the Ramsey Show After Show. and I started it, I think, when it was still the Dave Ramsey show, or maybe shortly after that, and I put that on there so more people would be able to find it. But there are 361 episodes of that. I used to be able to do that every day after the Ramsey show video ended, but I moved and got a new job, and so I cannot do that now. And so that's the reason why I created the which is basically the same thing, Ramsey Coach, which I mostly just do questions on Ramsey Coach. I might say something about, like yesterday, I talked about the market a little bit and did one news story. But it's more of a variety, and I sing these songs on the after show, but not on Ramsey Coach. Alrighty. Speaking of Ramsey, free plug for them. Break the Cycle live stream Thursday, January 11th, 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and it's not going to be brand new advice. It's going to be the same advice. It's going to be the baby steps. But when they have these streams, they like work into what is like on the minds of people at the moment, current events, that kind of thing. And they just tell you by doing the baby steps, you'll be in better position to deal with whatever comes up. And so that's we'll be there, and I'll be I won't be at home for the start of that. I'll still be working until 7 p.m. Central Time. And so I will be in the chat probably 15 minutes later or something like that for that one. The Ramsey baby steps. This is basically how you do this. And so if you follow these directions, you should be in good shape, regardless of whether you watch any thing or buy any books or buy the course, Financial Peace University. And a lot of people ask, oh, I'm in debt. Should I pay debt off instead of buying Financial Peace University? Well, if Financial Peace University makes you stick to your budget and stick to doing the baby steps, then it's well worth the money. Absolutely. But I was able to get out of debt and get fairly well along on the baby steps without FPU and without buying anything. I read Dave's book, Total Money Makeover, but I got it from the library. And this is right here. This is listed under products. See, products, 7 baby steps. That's this page right here. And this is completely free. One of the things it doesn't tell you, though, that's not on here, is that steps 1, 2, and 3 are one at a time in order, and steps 4, 5, and 6 are all at the same time, but still in order. So you do that first, and then any money left over you do or you address some for kid college, only what you need to for that month, and then everything else that is extra for that month, then you would put on the house to pay it off early. Alrighty, so let me just run through them really quick. Save $1,000 for your start emergency fund. That doesn't mean also save up a little bit each month and add to it. You don't do that. You put everything to your debt to pay it off as quickly as possible. And then once you have the debt paid off, then you save more money. So you have a full emergency fund, 3 to 6 months of expenses. Dave doesn't want you to have any more than 6 months of expenses because he wants you to be able to finish the baby steps, 4, 5, and 6. And then once you get to step 7, build wealth and give, then you can have a 2-year emergency fund if you want it. You can invest more than 15%, but until you get to step 7, you should not exceed any of these numbers. The thousands just stays for step 1 and 2. And then once you get to 3, you take that 1,000 and add to it. You don't have to have an extra 1,000 in addition to this 3 to 6 months. And again, that's not spelled out here on this page, but that is the way it goes. And that question does come up a lot. Alrighty. Did I get through them or did I? Yeah, I got through them. Okay. All right, so let's get to the questions. Here's where we left off from 9 days ago. Clank and Dexter. There was a movie, a game called something in Dexter. I can't remember what it was. Was it Crank? I can't remember. Alrighty. Dave's ways and refinancing. Dave has built his empire on contrarian advice. I don't know what that means. And if so, if you really feel like that, then why are you bothering to post something in a subreddit that has his name on it? I don't get it. I recently saw that he said, now is the best time to buy a house as long as you have the cash. Yeah, that's the best time anytime. It's not now, it's anytime you have the cash. If it was 5 years ago, that would have been. So you don't try to time the market, you buy it when you have the cash, either to pay in full as he suggests. He recommends paying in full is the best way to do it, but he will not yell at you if you have to get a mortgage, and that's the only kind of debt that he will not yell at you for. Let's see. Let's say one did buy today at a 6 to 7% interest rate. How does the process of refinancing differ from one with a good credit score, for the sake of example, say 730 and higher, than it does for one with an indeterminate credit score? I assure you, if they will give you a mortgage using manual underwriting, I assure you they will refinance your house for you. So banks like to make money, and even if it's at a lower interest rate, generally you don't refinance with the same institution, but it does happen sometimes. But they charge fees for that, and so they do want to make those fees. So that can happen, my friend. So a lot of people get incorrect stuff in their head, and then they can't get over it, or they just want to disagree with someone instead of again. I said it, mentioned it yesterday. #mention what up, Moneybags. That people just want to hate, and they want to be contrarian. You're talking about this guy's talking about his on contrarian advice. Well, if you don't like his advice, you're being contrarian, coming in here and say so. So don't get it. Anyway, just for bees, done with baby step 1, goal for 2024, pay off debt, 24-year-old, just a baby, 10K, credit card debt amongst 2 cards and a care credit card. Probably medical type of thing, probably still not advised because it's debt, and 1.5K in a loan. Seems doable. Absolutely it does. And like I said, you're still a baby. You can get this wiped out. You can save up your full emergency fund, and you can start investing, and you can still have over 30 years in the market to save for retirement. It took me a while to finish baby step 1 because I only put $150 per check. Yep, that can make it take a while. So maybe I might want to look at that budget to see if there's things you can cut out of there, so you can have more than $150 a month to go to the debt. But at least you're working on it. That's better than not working on it. Popular bit 1226, baby step 1 flare. Getting started with no real job. The baby steps require an income. Struggling because I fired recently, can't get a real job. Well, sometimes if you can't get a real job fast, then you have to take whatever job you can get. Oh, you work doing DoorDash and Uber Eats, okay. Not making enough to even get started with the baby steps. Yeah, I mean, on something like that, you would have to work, single mom, having child support because I feel guilty. Well, I mean, get over the guilt. Get over the guilt. I mean, unless you specifically did something Like if you cheated or something like that, there's no need to feel guilty. Sometimes relationships don't work out, unfortunately. I need help. I have 2 science degrees and I still can't get work. I want to do this nonstop working, but have a 4-year-old, so I can't work 24/7. Help. Yeah, you just gotta keep trying. Somebody needs science degrees, I assure you. You know, you might be a bit, you know, divorced or separated or whatever you are. Being a single mom, not easy, absolutely. And I know that can beat you down, but that can also make you not try hard enough to get a job. It's much easier to just sit around and say, oh, I'll do a little bit of DoorDash and Uber Eats. And so, you know, I mean, are you doing that 8 hours a day like you would have to with a real job? You should be. And while you're doing that, then also look for a real job. Flyer Focus says, get those Roth conversions done. With tax rates held low until 2025 and U.S. debt ballooning, these likely the lowest income tax rates you'll see in your lifetime, particularly if your income YOUR, that means you're like this with the apostrophe RE, means you are. Particularly if you are income, no, YOUR, your income for 2023 is in a low bracket. Soak up all you can at the low bracket by converting your IRA to a Roth, where it'll then grow tax-free for the life of the account. And that is what Dave recommends, is a Roth account. But converting a regular IRA to a Roth IRA, which is the Roth conversion, that does create a tax event. And now actually he's not correct about that. He's leaving out that for 2024 the tax bracket actually moves up. So it takes more money now, more income to get to a higher tax bracket. So you may even be a tax bracket lower in 2024. So yeah, you got to keep up with the news if you're going to be posting stuff on the Dave Ramsey subreddit, my friend. So, but if I mean, it's not for everybody to do. You have to be in a position to be able to pay the taxes on that for the because you didn't pay taxes previously on taxes. Right, restaurant supply, CS. Baby step 3. Baby step 3B seems impossible. It's not impossible. I used to bullseye womp rats in my T16 back home. They're not much bigger than 2 meters. That's from Star Wars, A New Hope, which is episode 4, as we all know. I'm an individual who's been saving for a home for almost a decade. Well, you probably live in a high cost of living area and don't make high cost of living money, obviously. 32 currently, and I still live with my parents in an expensive coastal state in New England. Yeah, move. Work 2 jobs in between 60 to 70 hours a week after taxes. My take-home pay is still under $1,000. Get your butt to work in another state, in a lower cost of living state. I make $20 at my full-time job and $15 at my part-time night job. Minimum wage in my state is above $15 an hour. How can they get away with that at your part-time night job then? Because it's part-time? Baby step 3B says that once you have an emergency fund that would cover 3 to 6 months of your living expenses, you can begin saving up a down payment for a home that is not more than 25% of take-home pay on a 15-year mortgage. The issue with this is that my take-home pay is around $40,000 a year after taxes and insurance, and so 25% of that is only $10,000. And the problem with your head is you're not comprehending that $40,000 a year is not an adequate income for an expensive coastal state in New England. So those two things don't go together. So if you're only going to make that much money, you cannot live there. If you want to live there, you have to make more money than that. And so nothing can change that. You don't get a pass because you live in a high cost of living area. That's nothing. I mean, you don't get a pass with math. Math doesn't give a pass to anybody. Final wheel 7635, baby step 2, win. Last August, I decided to follow Dave Ramsey method and pay off my $25K in student loan debt. I paid off over $13K in 4 months. Excellent. Today, I had an end-of-year review at work and received a large bonus. Excellent. We are on a fast track now to be done with debt in the next 3 months. Excellent. I'm so proud of the progress we have made and thankful to almost be done with baby step 2. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah, that's excellent. That's excellent. Congratulations, Dr. D, when he goes into protective dad mode. Somebody was saying something about this in the Ramsey Show chat the other day, so maybe the same person. Yeah, I mean, and that's fine. Some people don't have protective dads or dads at all, so let's see, entertainer number 3549, baby step 2, flare. Student loan versus car payment, smallest to largest is the answer to this. So often you can read this question and then you can go, which the person that wrote it could do as well, and go to this and find the answer. Let's verify that that's the answer, but I'm sure that's the answer. Let's see, this is almost certainly a question that has been asked before, so it would give me, but I could use clarification on stance David's taken in the past. He hasn't taken it in the past, he takes it always. He takes the same stances, always. 30 years, same advice. I have a still works, 14,800 student loan and a 16,200 vehicle loan. Yeah, so the student loan would be the first one that you would pay off. And maybe sell that car if you don't make a lot of money. These last 2 items on my snowball, with the vehicle loan having slightly higher interest and tied to depreciating asset, would not, no, you're trying to, if you were doing math, you wouldn't be in debt in the first place. So don't try to do math now. It's not a math thing, it's a behavior thing. And the behavior fix is to pay off the smallest one first. Dave's stance, as far as I can see, is only consider payment amounts and not an interest. No, he doesn't say to consider interest. When the loan payoff, interest when the loan payoff is similar. I apologize for that part. We got more stuff here. How would he define similar? Within 100, within 1,000? So what is that? That's 50. That's over 1,000. So that's not similar. Over 1,000 is not similar. You know, but if paying off one and not the other, if that's going to keep you from doing the baby, if that's going to keep you in debt, if you can't do it your way, then do it your way. But the advice is the advice because it has worked for 30 years. Dave has millions of documented success stories, okay? And that's his idea. That's with his stuff. That's not with people trying to fix it, which they always try to fix something that's not broken. Obviously, his methods are baseline, false. His methods are the exact thing you should do. And anyone has the right to choose. That much is certain, though. But his methods aren't a baseline. And then you get to decide if you want to be a snowflake and do it your little way or not. But you can. You have the right to do that, absolutely. But you don't need to be able to do it your way and also try to work it in to have Dave or anybody else that, like me, that agrees with Dave, then that's what you should do to try to get somebody to give you validation that you're doing correctly. So if you want to do it away, do it away. You do have the right. It's your money, your life. You can do exactly what you want to. Dave just tells you what he thinks you should do, and I tell you what I think you should do as well, which is exactly what Dave would say. How to handle any given scenario, but I'm curious as how he would navigate the situation. Maybe I'll have to ask him myself. It's not close enough. Over $1,000 is not a similar amount. You're out of your mind. You just want to do it your way. Either do it your way or follow the advice. You're on the Ramsey subreddit again. Follow his advice. Or do it your own way. It's your choice. You don't have to get permission, or you don't have to run it by. You don't have to have anybody agree with you first in order to do it that way. Different underscore luck underscore 6015. How does a single person actually afford a house these days? Well, you can't be in a coastal New England town, apparently. According to a previous question. You have to be making enough money to be able to do that for the area you live in. If you don't make that much money and you live in a high cost of living area, you may have to move if you would like a house. Let's see, mostly just spending, yeah. So it's not an actual question. Most people, I think, are smart enough to realize that they're the problem for not making enough money, because you can't control the cost of living in an area. You can't. That's out of your control. The whole deal, and try to be logical about it. The whole deal here is to work with reality. What's reality? And what you can change. You cannot change that, but you can try to get your income up. Or if that is not going to happen, you can't make that happen, then you move to somewhere that is more affordable to you. Let's see. Again, saving for a down payment and buying a house in this market. The market's not the problem. The savings not the problem. Currently in baby step 3 with 2 more months to go to start on 3B. Okay, but I live in a high cost of living area out of state. Colorado. Yep. And whose fault is that? I'm sure you were born there, so okay, your parents maybe. But guess what? If you can't make enough to live there, then you can't stay there. There's no, that you don't get a pass on the math for that. Hardly any decent housing options. You mean not one you want? A lot of people get confused with there's any deep between the word decent and the one they want. Not being the one they want. Anything is not the one they want, that's not decent. Available for under 500K. Yeah, it's expensive there. Hey, move. Make more money or move. That's all you gotta do. And this will be the Make More Money or Move episode. Due to the current interest rates, I would barely be able to buy a BUY. Maybe if you knew how to spell BUY for buy, you would be able to get a higher paying job. A 300K condo, just kidding. Due to HOA cost averaging around $350 a month or more. Yep. I'd love to be able to be buy a single family home, but that dream just seems impossible. Turning 30 this July, still a baby, but getting up there. I'd love to stop renting and be a home owner. A lot of people would. And then you do take steps to make that happen. Then you either make more money or you move out of a high cost of living area. So it's the same thing over and over again. You either make more money or you save for a very, very, very long time for the down payment to get the mortgage low enough that you can afford the mortgage payment. And if you do that, that will keep you from buying too much house. Theoretically, you could still have other if you buy too big of a house, you're gonna have higher electric bills, etc., etc. Other costs involved with bigger houses. But at this rate, let's see, it's likely to take me another 3 years to save for that at the very least now. And it's now going on 4 years of me doing the program, just feeling a little disheartened since it feels like all my hard work still isn't enough to buy a decent home. Yeah, because you're not done. You haven't done all the steps. You haven't even started on saving for it yet. So, you know, what's the dealio there? Again, you cannot change the cost of living in Colorado. You cannot change that. So do something you can change, which is get your income up. And if you can't get your income up, move your butt to a different state with a lower cost of living area. I like living close to skiing, tough. And the outdoors, tough. Wah, 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 wah. Losing motivation when I see friends buying houses. Now, any advice? Yeah, some of them probably are buying houses they shouldn't buy. They probably can't afford it. 578 comments. So, you know, I mean, you know, it sucks. It sucks. But you're whining. Control what you can control. You can't make this a lower cost of living state, and just by wishing for it, you can't make more money. So you have to deal with the cards that you were dealt, always. What up, Lens? Did I miss you? What time is it? 7:14. 4 minutes ago. Might have missed her. Phrase material. Phrasing. Rent or buy, continue renting or save up to buy a house. Military and currently on Dave Ramsey, baby steps 4 and 6. Now there's some military positions where you don't get moved whenever they feel like it, but mostly you have the good chance that you will have to move, and so you know. Some financial people will tell you, oh yeah, you need to buy a house so you get the equity. You're building up equity. You're building up equity. And then if you have to move, then you can rent it out. Yeah. Not everybody should be a landlord. Sometimes you do that and then you do not live in that area anymore, so you have to hire a management company to manage it. And then that takes most of your profit away, if not all of it. And so don't be a landlord just because you're moving. That is not the reason to be a landlord. The reason to be a landlord is because you want to be a landlord, not because you have to do a move now. Or at each new duty station, we buy a house when we arrive and sell when we leave. My brother-in-law did that for, I think, 3 houses. And then finally thought, I'm not going to do that anymore. As the years go on, yeah, trying to get that little bit of equity again, but then you gotta sell the house every time. We don't want to become landlords. Quit buying houses then. Stupid when you move around so much. Stupid. Midwest _ nurse 8 car payoff only that I have is the house and 19K car at 2.9. Well, I guess we know that would be baby step 2, if not 1 for Midwest nurse. 10 months living expenses saved. That is not how we do it. $1,000, rest goes to the car if you'd like to follow Mr. Ramsey's advice. Along with extra that I could pay off the car. Yes. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. 10 months of living expenses saved. Also have more saved. So are you, I mean, I'll give you a break if you're new to the baby steps. But if you're familiar with the baby steps where it says save $1,000, then pay off your debt. It does not say save $1,000 and then save $19,000 more while you have a car loan. It does not say that on there. I'm struggling to write the 19K check. Well, because you have the false sense that you are better off by doing that. That like it's a safety net or something like that. So in the worst case scenario, if you pay off that car, worst case scenario, right? You pay off that car, something crazy happens where you need $19,000. You could put the car up for collateral and get a loan for whatever you need. Now, that's not the advice. The advice would be to find a different way to deal with the emergency. You say that's your only non-mortgage debt. So after that, then you just have to replenish this, not 10 months, 6 months is max, according to Dave, so that you pay off the house before you're retired. So you don't keep that around like a pet. So you don't have more than 6 months living expenses laying around when it could be paying the house off. So it's getting 5.3 interest in Vanguard. You got to subtract the car interest from 2.9. So that is what? That's 2.2. So that's only 2.2 interest. You know, if the 2.2 interest makes you feel better than being out of debt, then do that. It's up to you. Like the previous thing you said, you can do whatever you want to. I realize it would free up $400 a month, but I'm still struggling to part with the past. I'm being dumb. It happens to a lot of people. They have that false sense of security because they have 19K in the bank. They think they're good. And at that point, it's when you have debt, it's not a sense of security. It's different when you're debt free and then you have 19K in the bank. That is called financial peace. This is not when you have debt. Edit, tomorrow is the day I write the check. Excellent. So 50 comments. Must have talked her into it. Excellent. Excellent. Question. What up, Linz? Go ahead. I'm going to talk about this next one. Go ahead and write it. Type it in. Reddit Guide 2. What would Dave do? Flare. Real estate versus S&P 500 ETF. ETF is exchange traded fund. They used to mean the same as they were index funds, but now some managed mutual funds are ETFs as well. And I don't even know exactly what ETF means. I think it means it can be tracked throughout the day and you buy it throughout the day, rather than some managed funds they don't get updated as far as what the changes are until the end of the trading day. But the ETFs, I think, are real time, so you can buy it in the morning or in the evening, both after the market opens and before it closes, and you're buying it at that price that it is that second. And so let's see, real estate versus, it's really not a thing about that. As far as the S&P 500, that is an index fund, and Dave recommends managed mutual funds because they can make more than this index fund. This is a great index fund, S&P 500. He uses that to save for purchases for real estate. But in order to use the market as a savings account like that, you do have to have a 5-year window. Let's see, just inherited property in Miami. I hit a rainstorm, ain't nothing to mess with, but I can't feel a drip on the drip. Almost forgot the words there. Which I'm guessing totals to about 500K. I am wondering if I should rent these properties or sell them and put that money into S&P 500. Totals to about 500K. It's up to you if you want to be a landlord or not. If you don't want to be a landlord, maybe inheriting that much property, maybe you would sell maybe one of them. Sounds like it's more than one, so maybe one of them sell and the other one keep if you want to be a landlord. If you don't live in Florida, though, you would have to pay somebody to manage them. And so maybe you don't do that. If you don't want to do that, yeah, do that and invest it. Not necessarily in that, but if you already have retirement investing maxed, then you can invest more in whatever you want. I read some posts in the real estate subreddit that I may be better off selling the property as quick as possible and putting that money into S&P 500 ETF. Well, that makes 10% average per year. So unless you had ideas of being a landlord and think you can make 10% off the money a year, You know, despite paying for new roofs and such like that, and HVAC and et cetera, and repairs. And if you can make more than 10%, then that average, that might be better than that. The reason given is that I'd make more money. However, I just read an old post in Fatfire. Interesting. Isn't that a browser? No, that's Foxfire. Firefox. No, it's Foxfire, which is it? Hashtag dementia. Firefox. Where this guy says real estate investing is easy, and that's what he recommends in terms of investments. Yeah, no, it's not easy. It's not easy. Let's see, blah, 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 blah. What do some smarter people think of my situation? Well, I'm gonna, even though you might not think I'm a smarter person than you or than whoever is talking in the, what was it, the Fat Fire subreddit or whatever that is, that platform. I'm gonna weigh in anyway. What should I concentrate on? Renting properties or investing in the problem is you don't know in advance which one's going to make you more money. Note that there is only a $40,000 mortgage on the property, so that puts you in debt already, and that is not the house that you live in, so that's a no-no. So sell one of them to pay that mortgage off. So one property has no mortgage, so sell the one that has a mortgage, and then that pays it off, and plus puts money in your pocket to experiment with running the other one if you wanted to give it a shot. So it can be very lucrative for you. Dave obviously has made a lot of money with real estate, but you know, the mutual funds and other investments, they do not call you in the middle of the night saying that their stuff is broken and you have to fix it and pay for it. The mutual funds don't do that. And S&P 500 specifically makes $10,000 average per year. So it's up to you. So unless you really want to, and again, it shouldn't be a thing where, oh, you just inherited property, and now, since you have property, now all of a sudden you want to be a landlord. I think you got to have a more of a call to it, like you wanted to do it your whole life, et cetera, et cetera. So let's see what Lynn says. If you only put a 10% down payment on a house, but to avoid PMI, it takes 20%, correct? When you pay off your mortgage, can you pay extra each month and tell them to allocate that toward the PMI to get rid of it? No, that's not how it works. You do have the extra payment of PMI every month until you have a loan to value ratio of 80 to 20. So once you have 20% equity in it, which you would already have, you already have 10%. And so once you pay it down to that, where the mortgage is only where the loan to value rate is 80%, and you have 20% equity in it. Once you have 20% equity in it, some mortgage companies I know have automatically released the PMI. Some of them won't do it until you ask. But yeah, but you don't allocate money towards the PMI. That's just added onto what you owe each month. And so I'm trying to remember now if maybe I was the one where they did it automatically. I can't remember. But yeah, so it's either you don't have to pay it if you put 20% down, if you put less than that down. So I'm trying to remember. We must have not put that much down. I don't remember what we put down. I'll have to ask my ex-wife that if she remembers. She probably doesn't either. So yeah, it's when you have 20% equity in the property, then and the loan is on. So like you can also get that if it's reappraised and you get more equity because the value has risen up, and that makes your equity go up as well. So as soon as your equity gets to 20%, then that's when you can get rid of it. Alrighty. Lazy Eagle, pay off mortgage or keep the company stock. Dave says no to single stocks. Dave says yes to paying off your mortgage early. And here's the even if, there's always an even if. Should I do Dave's advice, even if? And here's the even if. The reason I sell it, I must pay short-term capital gains taxes. Tough. You'll have a paid-off house. Would you rather not have to pay the short-term capital gains and still have a mortgage? I wouldn't. Also, I would lose the dividend. Would you rather have a paid-off house, or would you rather chase dividends? As I get almost $5,000 dividend every year on the vested stock. You can invest money and make more than those dividends are paying out. The company's growing at least 10% a year. That's not guaranteed every year. More in the last 4 years. I do not have any other debts. Cars are paid off and have 6 to 9 months. Shouldn't have more than 6 months of emergency fund while you still have a mortgage either. So you can do what you want to, my friend. But none of this way of thinking is Dave's advice. So good luck. What would Dave do? You're in bonus historical world. Does Dave recommend taking 15% of a year-end bonus and set it aside for retirement? It is part of income, so that would be, so 15% would go to that. And the rest of it would go to, would be, when that comes in, it would be treated as extra for that particular month that it came into, and it would go to whatever baby step you're on. Example, hopefully, since you are investing, hopefully. Oh, he's not necessarily investing, so he's just asking, should he set it aside for retirement anyway? No, so if you have debt, you would apply it all to debt. If you're still saving emergency fund, you would apply it all to that. If you are already investing 15% and are on baby step 4, it means you don't have any debt and you have the full emergency fund saved. Then you would, and you are investing 15%. Then you could apply however much you wanted to kid college, if that applies, and then the rest would go to mortgage, if that applies. Also, could be if 3B, if you're saving for a down payment, you would just apply it to whatever baby step you're on. The agender alien. What would Dave do? Flare work does not offer retirement plan. What would you do? Not what would Dave do, but what would you do? You do an Roth IRA. And then if the Roth IRA will not take your entire 15% of your gross income, if the limits on that are so that it that you have more to invest after the limits on the Roth are reached, then you would just do a non-retirement account. You can do like other options, like a high yield savings account. You could put it in, I mean, not a high yield savings account, an HSA, a health savings account that you can use to pay for medical expenses. But that account can have a retirement. I mean, gosh, losing my mind. An investment inside of it, inside of the health savings account. You can have the investment inside of it, and so that can be another way to invest. And then just after that, a non-tax advantaged brokerage account. And the beauty of that is that you can take that money out without any penalties. You do have to pay taxes on the growth though, and you have already paid taxes on the contributions that are going in as well. Let's see. Oh, who works in another country to declare my income in my tax return, but I don't pay U.S. taxes on my income because there is a convention that says that if I pay income tax in the country where I currently work, I don't have to pay income taxes in the U.S. Great. Moving to China in a few months. Alrighty. Currently have a Roth IRA and a 401k through work, right? Your accountant said you're not eligible to contribute to my Roth IRA because I earn income abroad and I don't pay any U.S. taxes. Yeah, that's the whole thing about the Roth, is that your contributions are taxed. So it's not like a 401k where that would come out of your paycheck automatically before it is sent to the 401k. How the Roth IRA works is that, I mean, I guess you can set it up with your employer where it would go, where a certain amount would go directly into your Roth IRA, but most people, you just get that money taxed and it goes in your bank account, and then you transfer it to your Roth IRA account, and then you buy mutual funds with it. Let's say don't pay you. I've been contributing to 401k regularly since I started my job. Right, so you can keep that amount, and that keeps growing. If it's the same job, yeah, you can just keep it there. If it's not the same job, if you're working for somebody else, if you're going to be working for a different company now, or that you're already working for a different company that's sending you to China, then you can roll over the 401k elsewhere. So let's see, next year, you already said that, starting a new job that, does not offer a retirement plan. I'm not sure what to do. Is this just a sum up of the previous? Will I be able to keep my 401k? Yes. Or will I have to roll it? You don't have to, but you can keep it. You can keep it with the same company even if you don't work there anymore. But sometimes, like, companies go out of business and those accounts like that get lost, that kind of thing. So you could roll it over to something. But if you're not rolling it over to another retirement account, then you will have to pay the taxes on capital gains for that as well. Will contributing post-tax money to a Roth IRA be an option? Yeah, because it's already been taxed. So yes. So you can do that. So you're not in any trouble because you're satisfying the law, even though you work in China. Do people who work in China and pay income tax in China also have to pay taxes in the U.S.? Oh yeah, that's a good question. Yeah. So yeah, no, you would have to pay taxes on that income in the U.S. on that. So probably what you're looking at, my friend, is a non-tax advantage brokerage account. Yeah, I don't even think in that case you can do an HSA, but you can look into that. But yeah, you're looking at a non-tax advantaged investing account, which is not a retirement account. And again, like I said, you can retire anytime you want to and take the money out, and you will have to pay the taxes on the growth, but there's no penalty because you're not getting a tax advantage. Matt Lee, 413, 17K emergency during home renovation. Yeah, that's why hopefully your house was paid off before you did a renovation. We're in the middle of a home project that was costing us $6,000. We then had a surprise plumbing leak that was $7,000. All right, so doing a home renovation should not have a problem where $7,000 is going to be that big of a problem. And a kid's trip to the hospital, which costs us $10K. Okay, well, that's a different thing. That's $17K now, but still. 35 men and have saved, invested, and been debt-free for a few years. Okay, so you do have the full emergency fund. Hopefully you did not use the emergency fund to pay for the renovation. That would be dumb. I didn't know when this type of emergency situation would come about, but it finally happened. Yeah, not super happy about it, but we are in a position that has minimal impact on our finances, right? Excellent. This is what financial security and wealth building is all about. Yeah, when S happens, you get through it and just move on without the emotional stress. Hope this helps. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So you may have been doing it wrong. If you still have a mortgage, I wouldn't recommend a renovation before paying the house off completely. I mean, granted, you got to fix stuff, but don't use fixing stuff. Like, for example, don't use fixing a pipe as an excuse to get a whole new bathroom, that kind of thing. So I would not recommend that. But yeah, that's what it turns. It turns what would be a drastic situation into a minor inconvenience. And worst comes to worst, you gotta put some of your, you gotta replenish your emergency fund there. So yeah, cool. Glittering underscore girl. Baby step 1, job, yes, required to the income is required to do the baby steps. Impossible to do the baby steps without income. Finally broke the 100K, excellent. Before taxes and 401K, I reached 170K managing a restaurant, excellent. The money is so good, which is why I stayed. I'm also currently working my way up and moving on up to the east side, moving up the ladder. The issue is my mentality. I feel that my mental health is never fully fulfilled. Has anyone here left a high-paying job and put themselves first, or am I just being ungrateful? I'm stressed every other day. Well, yeah, I mean, a restaurant isn't like a chill time where you're sitting behind a desk and doing your little stuff. And, maybe every so often somebody comes to, bother you about stuff. A restaurant is like constant. Everybody always wants to see the manager, and you got to do 1,000 different things. So it may not be for you, and you are allowed to switch jobs if you want to, even making less money. Depending on where you are in the baby steps, I would try to tough it out for as long as you can. If leaving it and going to a different job would mean a significant decrease in your income, I would tough it out as long as you can. But otherwise, you get to choose that. It's your money in your life. And so I would look at what baby step you're on, but basically it's your decision. Baby step 2, Flare, every dollar budget app over budget. Hope everyone having a great time with loved ones on holidays. Great. That was 8 days ago. For those who are using Ramsey's Every Dollar Budget app, or for anyone who's come across the same thing, I have a real quick question for you. For instance, let's say we initially budgeted $5K for simplicity, okay? But we ended up not spending all the budgeted line items as planned, i.e. fund money, food, or what have you. How do you guys account for the leftover dollars? Do you carry that forward into the next month's budget? Yes. If so, and then spend it that month, if not on fun or something like that. If you still have some left over, basically what you should carry that amount to, if you have leftover money, that should be going out to whatever baby step you're on, debt, or the full emergency fund. Or investing, or paying off house early, or kid college. If so, how do you go about doing that in the Every Dollar Budget app? Or do you put the leftover, you would put that towards like, you would have that money going to whatever debt you're paying off, or going to the sinking fund for the full emergency fund, or you apply it to investing house for kids. You would have it under those names, whatever name you are putting it under. Every dollar has a name, including money you don't spend on other things you have it budgeted for. Benway Net. What would Dave do? Flair, college scholarship. I'm my first child heading off to college. Look for scholarship. From the searching I've done, everything looks scammy and just looking to collect your personal information. Does anyone have a good site to search for scholarships that is legit? I think My Scholly is. My Scholly, I believe, is. I think that's the one AO used to recommend. Baby step one, Flair, doing your own taxes. I own a small business with no employees, just me and a co-owner. Not advised. Not advised. Also, because the problem with that is that just like a bank account where there are two owners of that bank account, either one of them at any time can go to the bank and take out all of the money. That's why you don't combine accounts with a girlfriend or a boyfriend. Also, that's why you don't buy a car with someone you're not married to either. No friends or family. No business with friends or family. Also, I mean, it's fine to work in a family business, but you're not the owner as well as the rest of them. Also own one rental property. Okay, use QuickBooks for bookkeeping. Really want to start filing my own taxes? Go ahead. Is it not too difficult to file your own taxes if you run a small business using TurboTax and QuickBooks? I don't think so. I mean, you might have a learning curve having never done it for filed business taxes. So there could be a learning curve for you, but it's not due until April 15th. So you got plenty of time. You got plenty of months to do it. And then if you find out it's too much for you, then you can just have somebody else do it. First Lady of Arizona. Baby step 3, Flair. Apple high yield savings for e-fund or downpayment. Does anyone use the Apple high yield savings account? Let's see if anybody does. I try to avoid having anything to do with Apple. There have been threads of people being flagged for fraud when trying to withdraw greater than 10K from Apple high yield saving account at once and taking several weeks to clear up with Goldman Sachs. I personally have 50K parked there before investing in stock market. I had no issue though. Okay. I think there are other high yield savings products out there with better than 4.25% returns, but nothing super wrong with it. So that's somebody that has it. I mean, I have no idea. I don't know. So I don't know. It doesn't seem like you have any better interest rate than any other high yield savings account. So there's no need to do it just because it's Apple. Just like computers, you can get the same exact innards inside the computer, the same parts inside the computer, except for the nice white case and the Apple logo on it, and you can get it a lot cheaper if it's a Windows computer. And it can do everything the Mac can do. Am I making the right decision by increasing my 401k contributions to 25%? That would be a negatory good buddy if you do not have kid college addressed and your mortgage paid off. Income 2023 was 245. Contributed blah 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 blah. I don't care. I don't care about any of it. He's not answering the things that I need to know. Let's see. Considering an HSA, backdoor Roth, okay. This is all what you're going to do by being overmaxed on your 401k, it looks like. but it doesn't say. Let's see. 32 single renting. Okay, new debt. That renting can put you on step 7 fast. Because you don't have to pay off your mortgage. 401k currently valued. Doesn't matter. 4.9% growth. Keeping liquid for down payment on a house. So why would you be investing 25%? Save more for down payment faster. So, because it's basically the same thing, waiting to save money for the house so you can invest more. I mean, because that's for retirement, I'm assuming. But I mean, you can treat, if you put money in a brokerage account, you can treat that as extra savings. So if that's all that seems like it's what you're doing. So again, let's see, 32 single, renting, no debt, so no house. If no child either, then you are on step 7. Congratulations. And so you can basically do whatever you want to except go down into a lower. So in that case, you can invest 25% into retirement at that point, but you may want that money to put on down payment for a house instead. So, and it sounds like you will have to do more investing in a non-retirement account anyway. And so, yeah, do that. So, in all of your situations, if it's exactly the way I said, then yes, you are making the right one. Oh no, not yeah, you can. Yeah, you can even you can invest more in retirement than 15% if you are on step 7, which you are. So yes, you can do whatever you want. But I would consider not putting it in retirement and having more money for a house. So you can get a house sooner. So unless you have some reason why you specifically don't want to buy a house, like, in the next near future, like 5 years, if you don't want to have a house, then that's fine. But also you may want to, instead of putting the 25 into your 401k, you might want to put that extra 10% into just a brokerage account to make money while you wait 5 years out until you buy a house, if that's the situation. What up, A9? You up late? It's way past tea time over there in the England. 18-year-old, want advice, hesitant about what? Independent _ dare 5631. I am an 18-year-old student. I'm enrolling in medical school soon, but I don't have to worry about student loans because I live in Belgium, where tuition is 128 euros a year. Well, that's fairly cheap. Medical school. Government subsidized, I hope. I hope it's not. I hope the people teaching the medical school aren't just getting paid that. My net worth is about 13,000 euros, of which I am half proud of, because half of it I've worked hard for, and the other half I got from my grandparents who have been saving, investing their money for me, for my entire 8 years of living. Okay, now about 3.5. A lot of people put the other countries put the comma in there, but there they put a period, so I don't get it. Maybe that's a Euro thing. Is really in a really low risk investing fund at a European bank. Right, that's not going to cut it for retirement, my friend. One of the 2 accounts I received from my grandparents. Yeah, grandparents, like, we have a thing here called, basically it's like a baby food company called Gerber. They have a thing where it's basically like whole life for a baby, and the investment in it sucks, and so Dave always advised, just cash it out. Same thing with savings bonds, most stuff that grandparents like to give you, that kind of thing is, and the advice is to cash it out and invest it in something good instead. Let's see. I left it in there because I like the return and low risk on it. Okay. Yeah, then that's what you get. So if you are fine with the low return and low risk, then you keep it in there. But that's not being low risk now when you're young isn't going to help you in retirement. So that the advice would be to cash it out and put it into a better investment. I suck at chess. Okay. Yeah, a lot of people told me I would be good at that, but I never really, I played just like a little bit, but, I didn't make it like a point to learn, like play against the computer or anything like that. And I didn't have anybody around me ever that was like, let's play chess all the time. So I never really learned. Selling car to pay off debt. Sometimes can be very good to do. What time did I start this? Let's see, when did it say? When did it say? I thought it was supposed to say on here. I don't see it. I still have that black bar at the bottom. Take a look at the stream for a minute and look at why that might be. Oh yeah, all right. I gotta fix that. Okay, so yeah, a lot of times selling the car is the right thing to do. Let's see, wife and I have around 15K of debt to pay off, which includes 7,000 credit card debt with 20% interest rate. That wasn't doing math, thinking about that one. And 8,000 of debt on a personal loan with 9% interest rate. 75K. What's the car? Oh, maybe they own the car. I make 75K at the moment, expecting 5 to 6K bonus come Feb that we plan on using to pay off some of the debt. Great. Wife currently has a 2017 Civic that is paid off, and I believe we can sell and buy a cheaper car and use some of that money to pay off our debts. You can. Generally, I mean, that's a 6-year-old car, maybe closer to 7. If your wife likes that and doesn't want to sell it, I would maybe forget about that. A lot of times one spouse will come up with a really good idea like that. Oh, we'll just sell the wife's car, and that will help us pay off debt faster. Meanwhile, you don't have to do without your car. So, and just to try to buy a cheaper car, 2017 Honda Civic, I don't know how much money you're going to get for that anyway. Let's take a look. Honda Civic 2017, don't know the exact model of, oh, it's a Civic, but don't know the exact model with the options. Blue book value. Let's see. I know anybody, like, especially when it's not yours, like any amount of money you would get for it. Let's just pretend it's this one. So, whoops. Turn off your ad blocker. No, thank you. So it looked like 17. Let's see what it says there. Oh. Estimated payments, yeah. Fair purchase price is $17,505. So maybe. Let's see what that is. Oh, that's new ones. There we go. Let's see. So these are, so one of these is probably the dealer. Maybe that's the brand new price of it. So maybe like 14,000, but you know, so what? Then how much of a car do you get? Does the wife go down to a $3,000 car or 2,000, something like that? You know, I mean, if she's down for it, sure, go ahead and do it. But that's something you got to talk to her about. But you know, getting out of debt as fast as you can uh, will help. But I mean, you gotta realize that there's always a chance that a cheaper car is going to require a lot more work than it, and make it eventually not worth it or way less worth it. So you got to make sure first that the wife is completely on board before doing that, and maybe sell something of yours that you like that is worth a lot of money if you have anything. Alrighty, Henry King, 123. Bought new car, not sure if it was the right move. If you were not a millionaire, yes, it was not the right move. You are correct, sir. Sterling David releasing his advice helped me pay off lots of debt within just 1 year. Great. Situation come 400K. 2024 will be about 370K, okay, as I work a bit less than 60 hours a week, okay. 401K to 250,000. Student loan, 200K now paid off, excellent. This year loan, I put 120K towards it to finish it, excellent. Home repair loan, 20K also paid off this year, so it's great. 25K. Paid cash, okay. 25K emergency fund. Car totaled. Camry, 8K back for a new car, put 20K down. And finance the rest of it. Why would you go back into debt? Dumb. Dumb. You could have gotten an $8,000 car instead of that. $36,000. So that was a $56,000 car. So, yeah, it wasn't the right move, dog. Even though you don't have any other debt, it was not the right move. That's a lot of support for parents. Prided myself on driving used car, but then what happened? And avoiding worst of a depreciation curve. Yeah, but then happened. But used cars were going for quite a bit. They were not going for $56,000. Or going quite a bit for ES350. Maybe you don't get the ES350 then. I enjoy this new car. Great. Silky smooth, whisper quiet, drives itself almost. Does not. V6 reliable engine and plan to keep it for 15 years. What we have here is justification station. What we have here. All aboard. Justifying it. So I'll aggressively pay off the loan, but financially, how big of a blunder did I make? Well, a lot, because you went back into debt. A lot. And an extreme one if you are trying to follow the advice of the gentleman whose name is on this subreddit. So yeah, bad move, dog. Filing Chapter 7 at 22. Pound low, 3016. Baby step 2 flare. Now, people like to do this a lot where they just file bankruptcy on a small amount just like so they can hurry up and get it over with. Let's see. So David had several mistakes with a lot of zeros attached to it. We all did. Took on debt up to debt the second I turned 18. We all did. As of now, my credit card debt is roughly 13K. Not a lot, but like spending more in the post at 18 and bought a 13K. Okay, none of that matters. None of it matters. None of it matters for the question about, well, I don't know what the question is. Let's see what the question is. My question is, thank you. Is it unreasonable for me to take a car loan out after discharge around 12 to 15K with 3K down on with the plan to snowball the crap out of it, hopefully within a year? I don't think they will give you a car loan after discharge. I think you have to wait a while. At least a few years before that will happen. So Does not understand the ways of the world. So yeah, they will not give you a loan right after you file bankruptcy. So, and your debt is discharged. So, so it's 13K, 25% interest. Yep, dumb. Yep. Toppled all the negativity and all the negative equity into the new car. So you got a new car. Make 38K a year. I went on orders with the guard, and my car loan people told me they would defer my payments. They never did. I found out my car was charged off in September. Okay, so it's in collections. It went from below 700. So I couldn't refinance to keep the car. How are you going to get a loan then if your credit is down? To keep the car, and after they took it, yep. I mean, that happens. They decide they want the car more than wait for your money. After they took it, was sitting 32K in collections in addition to having no car yet with my credit card. With my credit card, yeah, with that. So I filed. Yep. Question now is I commute 30 miles of work to one way. That is not good to do. 5 days a week, and I need a vehicle that is reliable so I don't have to worry about breaking down. Well, you're not going to be able to take a car loan right after you file bankruptcy, my friend. I've been reading all his books, listening to podcasts, so I know he says financing a car is like setting money on fire, and I know. Just want to know if what I'm thinking is reasonable. No, it's not. Just like the bankruptcy wasn't either. Like filing. So if the advice, if I was talking to this person now, I would say don't go through with it. Work it out. Pay this stuff off. It's not that much money. Seems like it when you're 22, I'm sure. Curious about approaching student loans and retirement savings. Hi all, 35 and not married, one child. Well, if you've taken a look at the baby steps, you see student loans would be on baby step 2, and retirement savings are on baby step 4. And so that means, and in between them is the emergency fund. So you have to pay off that, pay off all non-mortgage debt, and then get your full emergency fund, and then you can start investing for retirement. All right. Unneeded information. No debt other than the law school loans. Law school is good. $136,000. Yeah. No retirement until you pay those off. You don't get a pass just because it's a lot of money. Just like you don't get a pass if you live in a high cost of living area. Also, we'll match in about 100% of 5%. It's a little more complicated, but pretty much works out that way. Okay, yeah, they do that for some reason. Rather than just say well, if you put in X, we'll give you X, which is what they should just say. Let's see, $1,500 a year to a health savings account, $150 a month of my loan payment. Oh, for the law college loan. Questions about 401k and retirement account contributions. No, do not do that until you pay off the student loans. What you have already in retirement accounts, you leave it there. You don't cash it out, but you stop contributing. Probably a little sooner if I end up getting the annual bonus. Probably sooner than that if you stop contributing for 401k. Oh, you have other debt as well. Okay, but you paid off, just paid my car off. Okay, great. Great. 12%, 12K in a high yield savings account. Why? You're doing it wrong. $1,000 while you have debt. Non-mortgage debt, which student loans are non-mortgage debt. Yeah, so you're doing it wrong. So the approach to it would be to read the baby steps, understand them, and then do them is the advice. And you're not so much doing that. Paying off some debt, which is good, but you're not following the advice. Preacher, Coder, Troll 2. Excellent. Those are 3 things that I never considered putting in the same user ID. Fully vested in 403B. Do I stop to pay down debt faster? Yes, that was quick. Ladder _ stock 7624. And look how many words it is. I'm not even going to click on it to see if there's more than this. But there's a lot of words there that do not change the answer. Ladder stock 7624. How are college loans liabilities? Guess what? I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there is about a 50% graduation rate. College graduation rate, United States. Oh, good, 63%. So there's 37% of kids that took out student loans, and now they don't even have the college diploma occupation, excuse me. They don't have the occupation that they would get from a college education to pay off said student loans. Let's see, slightly higher. In 2022, 2008 to 2020 was 60%. So it's increasing a little bit. But 37 is still a lot of percent. And it's just like the people that say, oh, I'm going to pay off the credit card every month and then I won't get in trouble with it, until they don't. And those are the same people, oh, well, I'll definitely graduate. I'll sign up for the student loan. I'll definitely graduate. That's not thought about. It's also not thought about. For the young ladies out there, it's not thought about where you sign in for the student loans. And you don't think for a second, oh, I might meet a guy in college and get married and have a kid, and then I won't have any income to pay. I'll have to stay home with the kid and I won't have any income to pay off the student loan. They don't think about that either. They don't think, all they think about is, oh, I'll graduate and I'll be able to pay this off. That's all they think about, and that's not how it works. That's how they are. Let's see. I have people telling me to take college loans and master's degree. And a lot of times you got to look into that too, because a lot of times you don't make any more money for a master's degree, or definitely not enough to justify what it costs to do it. So it just depends on the profession and where. For a master's degree, 2 I can make. That's so I can make a better income. I'd like to know your guys' thoughts. Well, I would maybe, instead of doing a master's degree, I would do 2nd grade first, so you can get the language together first. Hopefully, just typos, hopefully, on this. And with loans being forgiven left and right, yeah. Also, how are loans liabilities? Because you might not freaking graduate, because, you got your bachelor's already, I guess, so you're not that dumb. But you might not finish it. All kinds of stuff can happen where you wouldn't finish it. And it's different than a bachelor's degree. There could be other stuff in there that you can't handle. You do not know. You can't be sure that you're going to get the master's degree and be sure that it's going to be worth the amount of money that you take out the loan for. And of course, again, if you look right up here, you see the guy's name that is on the subreddit. It's the Dave Ramsey subreddit, and Mr. Ramsey is no debt, no loans. In case you haven't heard of him ever. and somehow got on this subreddit. Oh, down to 7 days now. Okay, I guess I'll do. I don't know how long have we done. Crikey, Lins. So, oh, I know what happened. Let's see. Let me reload this. There we go. And now it will tell me 90 minutes ago. Okay, I was only going to do an hour. I guess I did more than that. Alrighty. I was wondering how people were typing in the chat, and I was only seeing that I was watching it. Robbie Zombie. Okay. Rob Zombie is a musical artist. Paid off credit card debt. Should I cut up the cards or leave them at home? You should cut them up. If you're following Dave's advice, you shan't be using them anymore. So cut them up and close the bloody accounts. I recently finished paying off $18K on credit card debt. I just can't bring myself to cut up the cards. That does happen to some people. For me, it makes more sense to remove them from shopping websites I use and just keep them in my safe, just in case I ever want to go back into debt again. Why would you want to do that? Edit. I have disabled notifications for this post and plan to give an update March 1st. Thank you all. Okay, great. I wonder what happens March 1st. All right. Well, I won't remember, but maybe I'll remember if I do see the post in March. All right. How about one more, and then we'll call it a stream here. Boyd 4715, credit card versus debit card for online purchases. If your debit card has the MasterCard or the Visa logo or the Discover card on it or American Express on it, if your debit card has any credit card logo on it, then you get the same protections. Myself, we have, as I never understood why people do that. They do the me, comma, I, you don't need that. You just leave the myself out of it and say we have a low balance card. And to be correct, it would actually be ourselves. We have a low balance credit card, unless the we is, unless you're royalty, we will never be royals. So if you're royalty, you would refer yourself to we. Even though you're one person. Have a low balance card, max $500 we use for online purchases. This way, if it gets hacked, it's the bank's money. It still has to be disputed. If debit card is hacked online, it's your money, and then you have to deal with recovering the funds. It doesn't always go back in there immediately. Like as you say, oh, that's fraud, and they go, here you go. Throw in thoughts on using PayPal or similar services as a way to hide your info. I do that. So got no problem with that one. But it's not a credit card. It uses my money to pay for that, not somebody else's. And then I owe it. So yes, PayPal approved for that. Alrighty. So it was fun, and I was saying the other night that I will probably, or last night, that I will probably start doing 2 nights a week, maybe Saturday and Sunday, of Ramsey Coach, just because I don't get to do many after shows anymore, and there are so many questions. As you can see, we still have a full week, and it's going to be almost a full week before I do this again. But then after that, I also have that following Monday. So I have one on this next Saturday, the Ramsey Coach again, and then Ramsey Show After Show on Monday, January 15th, Martin Luther King Day. Coach Steve Money is me. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach, and if you've got money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation / assessment with me at calendly.com /Coach Steve Money. That is a video conferencing appointment, so you can do that from anywhere in the world. You can email me about coaching or anything on my YouTube channel, CoachSteveMoney@gmail.com. Channel donation, go to paypal.me/CoachSteveMoney. Or if you don't want to sign up for the approved by me PayPal, you can just send me a Walmart gift card to CoachSteveMoney@gmail.com. You can add me on the gram at CoachSteveMoney. And of course, the YouTube channel is youtube.com/CoachSteveMoney. And I forgot to scroll up here so you can see what we say at the end, which is make smart financial decisions every day.